What's going on, everyone? My name is Mr. Aquaman, and welcome to the KoloCast, a weekly show hosted by myself and Flashyy over there.
What's going on, Aquaman? Happy to be here, dude. This is going to be an awesome episode.
You ain't lying, where we get inside the mind of someone on the grind. And tonight, our guest is going to be none other than Destroyer, and I'm incredibly hyped for it because my man's grind is all over the place. It's incredible. He's blowing up on YouTube, on Twitch, everywhere. And the one thing that I want to start off with is Destroyer. Tell us about your grind and tell us how you did it off of a game that is past its competitive state, like Mortal Kombat X during Injustice 2, because that's when I saw you start to skyrocket in views and everything in content creation. It was incredible, man.
No, yeah, Mr. Aquaman, I really appreciate you bringing me here to the KoloCast, joined by Flashyy. You know, I aspire through greats like yourself. You know, you've been in the game for a long time, commentating and just like competitive players like Foxy, and just it's just a huge range of inspiration that really led to the growth of my YouTube channel and my competitive drive. And like, I really don't know how deep you want me to go back into this, man, but the thing,
All the
like,
way.
it
All the
goes,
way.
yeah,
all the way,
it goes
as deep
all the
as
way.
you can go without that sentence getting
Hey,
weirder.
hey, whoa, slow down there,
Demonetized
buddy.
already, bro.
Yeah, come on, what's going on? But like, dude, I'm telling you, man, it all started like me and my brother, just me growing up as a Mortal Kombat fan. You know, the freaking 2D games, just the fatalities, just the whole thing, the characters. I was just in love with the whole thing, and it was just something I grew up with as a kid. And then just growing up, Mortal Kombat 9 was announced, and that was kind of like the Mortal Kombat that they were trying to take it to that next step of competitive fighting, because they went back to the 2D stage, because we all know that whole three-dimensional fighting game, that can get pretty hectic. Like, only certain few games do it. You got Soul Calibur, you got Tekken, but Mortal Kombat, like those of you who know that three-dimensional era, it was a mess. So
I don't think that they knew how to do a 3D game without infinites everywhere and all over the place and all kinds of madness.
It was literally just bound to happen because you have all this janky movement. You could just juggle a dude forever in the corner. It was wild. It didn't ever get like competitive to the point where you're seeing this on the main stage of Evo until like Mortal Kombat 9. Once Mortal Kombat 9, they started announcing that. I saw the trailers. I was like, oh my God. I was like, dude, this is it. This is sick. Me and my brother, we were totally invested. We got the early beta on it. We grinded on that game for hours and hours and hours. And then finally, they had it was like the opening of Mortal Kombat 9, the release date. GameStop had a tournament for it. And that was the first time I went at it and tried a competitive atmosphere. I try to do some work, and it didn't end up too well. I didn't know anything about frame data. And that was kind of the stepping stone that led me to just dive into this NetherRealm journey, man. It just goes as deep as that.
Can I also just say that we need to give credit to GameStop for back in the day for doing those launch tournaments, because as much as we can meme on GameStop all day long, hours on end, that's actually how I got kind of into was Street Fighter 4 launch tournament and Mortal Kombat 9 launch tournament. Those kind of got my foot in the door as well. And then they held this regional thing that led to some big finale, met people in the FGC for the first time, things like that. It was really cool that GameStop, as much as we meme on them.
No,
and we should.
Man.
That was one good
you're
thing
totally
that they
right
did
about there.
Sure.
Yeah,
Do you remember what character you played in that tournament? That first
in Mortal Kombat 9?
In Mortal Kombat 9, that first GameStop tournament. Do you remember what character you played?
Yes, I went in there with Scorpion. And listen, I was kind of a scumbag.
Everyone's first choice.
Dude, the reason why I picked Scorpion, because if you remember, Aquaman, the little demo, they had a demo for the game, and I think it was Scorpion and Sub-Zero. So I went in there with this freaking, I was prepared. I think I got like second or third, I forgot, but I was prepared in that tournament. I was cheesing people out with teleport, get over here, Spirit. I had these combos down packed, all thanks to the demo. I'll tell you. That demo really helped out. So yeah, so then after that, Mortal Kombat 9, that was, like I said, the stepping stone of the whole thing. I started learning about frame data. Me and my brother, we would grind like every single day. And having somebody to just grind in that offline atmosphere, it really helps. When you finally prep yourself to go into the battlefield, into the actual offline tournaments. And it wasn't until Mortal Kombat X dropped. That's when I finally decided, I'm going to save up some money. I'm working my little 9 to 5. I'm going to start going traveling, and I'm going to see what I could do with this game. And then I just went to it was Next Level Battle Circuit. A majority of people are going to know of that venue. It's a very popular local located in Brooklyn, New York. And some of the greatest fighting game players, you can find some of the greatest fighting game players there. They're going there every week, grinding all the time. And that was the first tournament. Me and my brother, we was like, yo, let's go check this out. Let's see where our skills at. And we just showed up. During the sign up, they were like, hey, what's your name? What are you signing up as? And I didn't have a clue. I was like, shit, man. My PSN is destroyed
for one, man.
Yeah, dude, you know how it is. So I just went back to my PSN. I'm like, it's destroy_scum. I'm like, destroyer. I'm like, fuck it, destroyer. So they put me in as destroyer. I went in there, Mortal Kombat X. I went in there as a Goro main, and I got absolutely shredded. But the adrenaline and just the feeling of the competition, it just drew me in, man. And once that got started, dude, Aquaman, you know how it is, dude. Like that competition, and once you finally go to your first major and you travel, you like get the hotel room. It's an incredible experience. You start meeting great people. You start learning new tricks, learning how to get better at these games, and it's truly an incredible experience, man. I gotta say.
So now my question is, you did a lot with offline competing and stuff like that, and that's kind of where it all started. When did you start in this path watching YouTube videos? Was it during MK9 while you were trying to learn the game, or did you not come into like watching MK on YouTube? When did that start? Was that MK9, or that was also like MKX was the catalyst for everything?
So I would say like just going on, I was watching YouTubers like Super Dynasty, just a lot of YouTubers just growing up, just being invested into Mortal Kombat. I'd always keep an eye on the whole YouTube game. So like once Mortal Kombat 9 came out, that's when I started doing a lot of like backseat YouTube gaming, just watching these competitors go at it and just really picking at their brains and just seeing like, how this thing all plays out. And then Mortal Kombat X was when I actually dived in there. And it's kind of crazy, dude. Like the whole YouTube thing, the way that thing kicked off, I definitely owe a huge majority of it to NetherRealm and just the beautiful community this game has to offer. It's super kind, and the support is unreal sometimes. But my YouTube grind, I was just always I feel a lot of people could say this, like probably 90% of the world is sitting watching YouTube videos. Everybody's got their freaking clique, their niche. And I just always grew up watching YouTube, and I just had a lot of inspirations into it. And I started uploading what did I start uploading, dude? It was in Mortal Kombat. That's what I'll tell you for sure. It definitely was in Mortal Kombat. Yeah, I'd have to go to the YouTube and scroll all the way down to the VODs. But I was uploading stuff like Warhammer. I had like this I would always, growing up, I would always play around with stuff like Movie Studio and like Sony Vegas. So I got like self-knowledge on all those video editing softwares. And I just always like compiled videos and try to do these compilations and stuff, give them this like cinematic atmosphere. And that's kind of where I started with YouTube, man. I was doing
I just went back. You got Total War, Skyrim,
dude,
Warhammer 40,000.
Skyrim, dude, watch one of the Total Wars. There were like these machinimas, and dude, I would spend literally like days on these videos.
Oh,
like the game would offer. Dude, the game would offer this in-game like video camera. You could get rid of the HUD, and you could really make these like cinematic battles. It was some nerdy shit, but I got so into it, man.
Bro, this video is literally called Rome 2 Sons of Zeus Cinematic in parentheses, bro. 5 years ago. That's so crazy, man.
Let's go.
My dude was out here
5
making
years
movies.
ago.
Yeah, my dude was out here making movies.
Ago.
on the
Mhm.
battlefield, man. That's awesome. That is so awesome.
Which also
Yeah,
goes to tell you
man.
because that was shortly after or around when Mortal Kombat X was already out. So when did you decide that that was going to be something that you were going to take like more serious beyond the
The
casual
MK
aspect of it?
content.
Yeah, for sure. The more competitive side of things, I guess.
So, it's all a learning curve, man. I feel like when you start stepping into content creation, that's something that you learn and it just grows over time. It's something to me. It just came naturally. I started doing it. I started competing in Mortal Kombat, and just one day I decided to get the PlayStation. This shit right here. This thing, man. This is a life changer. Let me see if I could. Yeah, I can't get it. This right here, bro.
Yeah,
Who
there we go.
remembers this? Who remembers
Mm.
this? I caught this. I started doing PlayStation live streams. I was getting real competitive into Mortal Kombat X, and that's kind of where it started. And then I'm someone that over time I'm gonna want to start giving my all into things. I want to make sure I'm providing the best quality, just giving your 100% in what you're doing because it just makes sense. You don't want to go into something and you're not having fun and shit like that. So it was just content creation. It just grew over time, man. I started off with the Warhammer videos, so I had my foot in that. I already had my knowledge in video editing, so like once I started competing, it just all tied in, dude. Everything just tied in. I started uploading Mortal Kombat, and just the support. It was just growing, man. It just kept on growing, and it wasn't until I finally decided to, because Injustice 2 came out,
Mhm.
and that's when Mortal Kombat X, not too many people were giving it attention. The game was still getting tournaments from here and there, but it just wasn't getting the love it was supposed to. So I was just like, man, I really I really miss watching this game in a really high competitive level, watching the best of the best go at it. Because all the players at that point were already just, moving on and just leaving the game. But I started what was it? I think I called it the Destroyer Invitational.
It was
I
called the
started this
Destroyer
tournament series.
Invitational. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that. I was
yeah.
like, wow, he really just named it what it was, which was pretty amazing. I remember that
Yeah.
one.
So this, and I had no real thought of this, dude. Like I was just like, hey, I wanted to do this to see this competition, to see who's still in the game, to see what killers were still out there for MKX. So I was like, let me throw this thing out. And if you go back to that video, dude, it's kind of like when I talk about, it's all a learning curve, just growing and just improving as it goes on. If you watch that tournament, go back, watch the Destroyer Invitational, and watch like one of the things I've hosted recently. It's like, damn, dude, like it truly is a learning curve, and it's
Absolutely.
all about just sticking to it.
I agree 100%. That's how it's been for, everything I've been involved in too. Don't go back too far on my YouTube as well. You're going to get some really ugly 480p Ares and Justice 1 setups that aren't even good, if I'm being honest with
But
you.
it's freaking incredible, going back and then looking at the stuff you're doing now, the whole Kolosseum, you got a whole KoloCast, like it's actually mind blowing how
Yeah,
how
and I
the
had no idea
progressive.
either. Which Destroyer, one of the things it's why I work with you so much, and we even play games outside of Mortal Kombat together, and it's because there's a friendship that's kind of natural when you know someone that's kind of been through the same stuff as you, and that's what I see in you as well. Is it's someone that's been there and done that, and part of that grind has been, especially for you, and part of what drives me as well has been, well, fuck it, I'm going to do it myself, and that's exactly why I've been doing so many Mortal Kombat events over the years. Is because sometimes you just gotta, when you want something, fuck it, you do it yourself, and that's exactly what you did with MKX during that era, and it
100%,
was a
man.
beautiful thing to see.
And what's really awesome is you're still doing that. Like, this is gonna kind of deviate into where I want to take this conversation next, but you briefly touched on like Injustice 2. Everyone kind of moved away from MKX. Now we're one game even further. We're into MK11 now, and you're still rocking with MKX. Not even giving a shit. You're just like, I don't care. People are playing this game. This is the content I want to make. Like, I don't care. So
Well,
that's
it all
awesome.
ties back. You got to do what you enjoy. I'm not saying I don't enjoy Mortal Kombat 11. But
Mm.
being a commentator, you're kind of forced to be a spectator sometimes. Especially if you're going to be hosting these events. And I'm not trying to. I'm sorry, I'm not bashing the game. I swear I'm not bashing Mortal Kombat 11. But NetherRealm has made a really big decision to. They put out a tweet. One of the developers put out a tweet saying that, oh, we're done putting patches out for the game. Essentially, that's what they said. So if you look at it long term, you got to see these characters like Cetrion, these characters like Jackie Briggs. Again, this is my opinion. This is my opinion of the whole matter. And I feel like some of these characters in Mortal Kombat 11 are just a fucking snooze fest, man.
Hey,
It's just a
Destroyer, can
snooze
I be
fest.
completely honest with you? Can I be completely honest with you here? I cannot tell you how hard it was to get through so many weeks of War of the Gods, with Starfire, Catwoman. Eh, It was so bad. I remember everything about this moment. I had to commentate so many weeks in a row of Rewind versus Samij, Catwoman, Wonder Woman. It's like watching paint dry.
Yeah, it was brutal. I could imagine. I could freaking imagine. And it's not the player's fault. It's not the player's fault. It comes to a lot of people cried out, "Oh, this needs a nerf. This needs some balance," and the game didn't provide that. So I don't want to be that guy to host a tournament for Mortal Kombat 11 and ban a character. Like, how would you look doing that? You know what I'm saying? So I just said, I'm gonna do some Mortal Kombat X content. Hopefully they'll release a balance patch, fix something up. Who knows?
Just to randomly bring this up for even both of you guys, and feel free to agree or disagree with me wherever you want in this. But most people know how I feel about Mortal Kombat X as a competitor. A little salty, but I will always say, no matter what, that Mortal Kombat X is the #1 game of all time. Like, for content creation and for the viewer, like, it is just the best thing to watch when it comes to competitive Mortal Kombat. All the broken shit, all the dumb stuff that would make me put a hole in my wall, looks good visually, and it's always been great, and it holds up to this day, even on PC visually. It's gorgeous. I mean, we just did a PC MKX event a couple of weeks back for the Twitch Rivals thing.
Oh,
It was
so
gorgeous.
So now my question, this is perfect to piggyback off of this for Destroyer. Obviously, you have a big focus on MKX content, both your Twitch streams. You got Champions of the Realms going on with Caboose, which is awesome. Love tuning into those every week. Looking on your YouTube channel, literally, yeah, those are awesome. Every 48 hours, pretty much, you got some kind of MKX dropping on your YouTube channel. But now, my question, look into the future, not to put you on the spot too much here, but what are you going to do if you don't particularly like the next NRS game that comes out? Have you thought about that?
Oof.
Or are you kind of just like, I'm just kind of living day to day and enjoying what I'm doing, and I'll cross that bridge when I get there? Because NRS content creators, we're in like this, in a weird space. Not as weird as Call of Duty creators, because that's every single year. But we kind of got to, every 2 years, don't have to, but, try out the next game that comes out, right? We're always there, whether it's for a tournament or for some content, whatever. But my question is now, let's say that comes out next year or whatever. Now that makes MKX 7 years old. Are you just going to stick with MKX? Are you thinking about adapting your content to maybe something else? Like, again, not to put you on the spot, but have you thought about, like, what if I don't like the next one? What am I going to do?
Well, I'll give you guys some insight on what I'm working on, going forward. But me and Caboose, we got this Champions of the Realm series, and motivated by incredible brands like the Kolosseum, we were like, hey, let's start this tournament series, and let's see what happens with it. So we got together, me and him. We were playing a lot of Warzone. We were just grinding, and we just ended up hosting that tournament series. And the feedback on YouTube was something that was obviously we had to continue it. The community, they were going to his freaking YouTube videos, and they're dropping "you don't impress me" comments, and just stupid memes that are brought from that thing, and it just becomes something really awesome. But talking about the next game, so right now we're probably gonna do something for Injustice 2, and we're right now, the way I see it, and content, I'm gonna continue to do what's fresh for me, because you don't ever want to get burned out. You always want to stay consistent, and if you got to take a break from one game, you can definitely take that break, but you got to stay fresh. And the question you asked, if the new game comes out and I don't end up liking it, if that's what ends up happening, I'm 100% going to do some tournaments for it. I'm going to get, some content out of it. I'll host a couple exhibition matches. And, if a year or two down the line, the game ends up becoming real stale, I'll probably fucking alternate back to MK11, alternate back to MKX. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. That is definitely something that
I knew that was going to get a little deep, but...
No, but 100% next NRS title, like, there's gonna be a Kolosseum. There's gonna be a Champions of the Realms for it. Like, it's gonna happen. Like, even if the game sucks ass.
Here's the thing, though. We need to find out if it's going to suck ass first. Like, we gotta at least see if it's gonna.
I don't think so. I don't think so, man. I think NetherRealm, they got a lot of feedback, between Mortal Kombat 11 and just comparing the two games. I hope they take that feedback and really give us something special.
When you first started hosting online tournaments, this is more of the TO and me asking the TO and you. How much anxiety did you have hosting your first online tournament, and how do I say this? When did you first realize that it was a lot crazier than people think? Because a lot of people don't realize just how crazy it is. And I think you even reach out to me all the time, especially when you first started out, just like, dude, my head's about to explode. And I'm like, my head's about to explode too. That's how it really is.
It's pretty crazy. Like, it's one thing running an offline tournament, because we've been there many times. Like, it's just more control because the people are there. The TOs, they can call on the loudspeaker like, yo, pull this, pull that. But an online tournament, there's so many factors that are just out of your control. I live in an apartment building. I'm in this apartment neighborhood. We have freaking wiring across the neighborhood. So there's like anything can happen. A tree can fall on top of this, knock out your power. Bad weather can happen, knock out your power. And, being that dude that's running production for online tournaments, dude, the anxiety is insane. And then pair that up with the players that actually attended. You gotta hope the dudes you got for the stream are gonna show up. There's just so many things out of your control, dude.
You can connect, and if any one of those 50 things go out of order, it ruins the entire thing, and all of the pressure is on you, and you have thousands of people watching, going, "Well, what the fuck? What's the next match?"
It's insane.
Hey, what the fuck?
You can tell you hit a personal spot with Mr. Aquaman on that one. You can tell that one was right here. That was a deep one. That was deep rooted. He needed to get that one out.
Yeah, I mean, like, not too many people understand how it is, but it's something that you just gotta that meme, the Lord of the Rings meme, where the Gondor, he turns around, he's like YOLO, and he just runs into the battlefield.
Oh yeah,
that's how it is. That's how it is going into these online tournaments, man.
You just gotta charge in head first. And guys, I'm gonna give you advice. And I see Destroyer embrace this a lot on Champions of the Realms, because Destroyer, you and Caboose have such a good time on that show. It's just relaxed, laughs, nothing but good times. And
that's what it's all about. You gotta enjoy what you're doing.
You gotta have fun. But do you find yourself, because I know our tech, and this is just I'm gonna give you guys one of my secret recipes to success in running online tournaments. If something fucks up, embrace it and try to do something funny. You gotta embrace it. If you can somehow find a way to still be, enjoy those moments, that relates to the audience really well too. Because
I feel that 100%. I feel
like if you're taking it too seriously, that also reflects, because then the viewer feels that kind of pressure, and we have enough pressure. So take that off a bit, guys. All you guys that are running tournaments out there, in those moments, if something's not working, it's not the biggest deal. Have fun through it. That saves me more times than I can even say. Because a lot fucks up, even on the Kolosseum. We had our producer tuning in because he deals with this a lot as well. When it comes to the Kolosseum, Kombat, or the Gaunt's, all those other shows. He has been running
Rick
all
in
those
here too, man. That was super relatable for him too, I bet. He's hosting a fucking tournament every week.
Oh, is he here?
I'm here now.
Oh, hold on a second. Bring it around. Would you like to say something about that previous topic of?
I can totally agree with what Destroyer's saying. I know the pressure, man. And even when you think, I got everything done. I've got all my layouts here. I've got all my graphics. I got everything needed. It doesn't matter. It never fails. 10 minutes before you go live, you're going to remember something. You're going to forget something. Something's going to happen. And it's all about how you deal with that in that little moment. But then also,
Mhm.
whenever throughout the broadcast, if something were to happen, dealing with it then, it's terrible.
On the flip side of this now, so we got a little bit of tech for the people running the events and stuff, but Destroy, this is something that I've wanted to ask you because a lot of your content, like even on your YouTube channel, on your Twitch stream, a lot of it is kind of giving a platform to these players. It's a lot of you spectating and commentating other players, bringing other people in, giving them a platform, letting them show their stuff, letting them take W's, all that stuff. So you've been on both ends. You've kind of been on all three ends of the spectrum of the fighting game world. You've been a professional player, you've been a TO, and you've been a content creator. But now, specifically, if there's any advice that you could give to players that kind of want to be on the come up, because now we're not really in a time where there's offlines, right? Where you could go there, network, make some friends, get your name out there, do your thing. Now it's pretty much you got to play online. So if let's say there's a new guy, he's like, "Yo, I want to get into being a professional MK player or something like that." What kind of advice would you give to somebody in this current ecosystem that we're in, having been
Man,
on pretty much every side of it, man?
it's like it's so weird. I'm still taking in the whole changes with everything, due to the pandemic. Like it all hits so fast, and asking that question, man, I think I'm gonna need some help from Aquaman on that one.
I'm just
come
gonna hit
on.
you so hard with these, bro. I'm
Because
sorry.
no,
We
because
don't have to talk.
dude, because like online, I as much as I want to encourage somebody to go in there, but like if somebody's starting their competitive journey online, it's I think it'll be a lot more comfortable for them, because they're going to be more used to that, the online latency and just the little delays and all that stuff. So I mean, to an extent, as long as tournaments continue to really establish like a strong enforcement on playing with a wired connection, and just keeping these regions to similar locations, that way lag isn't that much of a factor. I say start entering these tournaments. You gotta make sure you read the rules. If you can get in contact with the tournament
Please read
host.
the rules.
a-
Guys, no one reads the
yeah,
rules. No one ever reads the rules. Just
no
do
one
it. You're
reads the
already signing
rules.
up there. Just scroll down a little bit. That way you don't ask me if it's 3 out of 5 when your match is ready. Come on. Read the rules.
I didn't think that
And-
was gonna be I didn't think that reading the rules would be the answer, but it makes so much sense, dude. Like it's
Oh,
actually
please.
kind of crazy.
Yeah, because there's so many oh, I'm sorry, continue.
No, I'm going to piggyback off of that because, some advice I would give as well is absolutely online tournaments are like the perfect way to get your feet kind of in the door in the competitive space. But that comes with kind of, it's a double-edged sword. It's a great way in, but you're also introduced to a lot of negativity in the online space. And you cannot,
Unfortunately.
guys, I cannot stress this enough to any single person watching this. In the FGC, it doesn't even matter what game you play. The online toxicity and Twitter, I'll just say Twitter. Twitter is not the offline FGC. Okay, I just went to an offline like 2 weeks ago, and it was one of the most positive things that I think I've ever experienced in my entire life. It was fucking phenomenal, and none of that Twitter drama bullshit was in attendance. And so you got to keep those separate, man. Everyone offline, it's a completely different environment than what we see in today's day and age, which is unfortunately where we spend most of our time. So that's why we see people fucking popping off every day. It feels like on Twitter about something, but it's because all of us are tied up here at the house online. And let me tell you guys that you're coming in, don't let that affect you deciding to go offline and continue that advancement of a competitive career, because it's wonderful. It's actually how I met Destroyer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, dude. Like again, I met so many great people just through that journey, just traveling, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm here today, man, honestly.
So,
But yeah, I mean, Flashy, that question right there, dude, it's like so expansive because
Yeah,
I feel
there's a
like
lot of ways you can go.
but
I like it though. I
100%
like it.
make sure you read the rules and enter as many tournaments as you can, because I feel like now that we kind of transition to this this whole online scene, there's a lot of freaking tournaments going on. Like if you
Mhm.
go on Twitter, you scroll down just like not even
can't
half a
keep up.
mile, you're gonna see
I've
a shit
tried.
ton of events. Yeah, there's like a lot of money involved. So if you're trying to get better, man, you have a lot of opportunities
Absolutely.
for
So
online.
now, another question about featuring players and things like that. A lot of your content, again, like I said, it features a lot of players. Where was that shift in mindset where you were like, you know what, I'm just gonna make content about these other people, like whether they have Twitter followings, whether they're whatever. I want to make content featuring these other people. Was that you kind of just being like, I just like to sit back and chill and watch these guys do their thing? Was that you being like, I want to give a platform to these people? What was the mindset behind being like, dude, all my content is just pretty much going to feature all of these other people from the community?
So this is actually a great question because this dates back to the Destroy Invitational. You know, I started that tournament just because I wanted to see some high level MKX. I was like,
It's
hey, let me
it's in
get
the
these
name
competitors here.
Flashy. He actually
It's
just
in the
answered the
name.
question in about 5
It's
seconds.
in the name.
Mhm.
I wanted to see where this competition still lied. So you know, I start that tournament and I don't know how the hell I got labeled a commentator throughout you know my career going forward. But you know, I'm labeled a commentator to a lot of people. And I didn't really consider it commentary. It was I was literally just expressing myself. I mean, I guess you could say that's commentary, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I was just expressing myself to the
No,
matches. You know,
short commentary, real quick commentary is just as long as the dude listening is entertained, you've done your job as a commentator, whatever the fuck it was. It's,
there it is.
that's why I feel.
There it is, man. I literally had like a fucking PlayStation mic. I was just yelling into it, just going
Mhm.
ape shit for these matches because they were hype as hell. And then you know, as things went on, I kept on hosting events and I was just kind of developing a commentary style. You know, I was kind of toning it down. I mean, I still go ape shit, but I did tone it down a bit to the point where, you know, now I can watch these matches, I can make plays, and you know, I could kind of to a point say what's going on. And then I ended up getting invited to one of the pro league commentaries. I forgot, was it NEC,
NEC.
right? It was NEC. I got invited to NEC and I was like, holy shit. Like I was telling my
My man
family, I was
was
like,
so
yo,
fucking nervous too. He was
dude,
so nervous before that
because I
block.
mean,
You
think
were
about it.
nervous. Mary was
I wouldn't have
nervous.
seen myself as a
Oh,
commentator, you know? It was
it
mind
was it,
blowing
it
that,
was
that the whole
incredible.
opportunity came to be. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
and
like
I had a
Aquaman said, I was nervous. I was shitting my pants.
it's really crazy because again we've had such similar starts in that I also for the longest time didn't I had zero aspiration to be a commentator for years and years and years and years and years, zero whatsoever. When we did Combat Cup, the only reason I was a commentator is because if I streamed it, commentated it, and helped put it together, it saved on the budget. So it was a really good move for me to just do it all, and that's what
And
we
look,
did. And
that's something right there that I'm gonna save that topic for the after hours that you had planned.
ooh, and you guys watching on YouTube will not know what that is,
I should have wrote some
Soon,
damn notes,
but you'll
man, so I don't
find
due
forget
out
time,
this
later.
topic.
in due
But you'll
time.
find out later.
But to
yeah,
answer your
absolutely.
question, Flashy, you know, the whole thing just started like just developing a commentary style and, you know, seeing the community, my supporters just being so intrigued with this type of content, you know, people laughing, so many comments on the YouTubes, they're like, LOL, putting timestamps to me, saying the dumbest shit ever, dude. I'd get caught
It's
off
great,
guard.
man.
I'll go to the timestamp and I'll be like, what the hell did I just say? Like, what the hell is going
Oh,
on?
all the time.
It's just yeah, it's just you know, funny shit. It's just funny shit. So you know, I see that type of content. It gets a lot of traffic. So I definitely want to provide to my viewers, you know, what they're enjoying the most.
Mhm. Can I
What kind of
piggyback
content
off
do you
of?
think you would make on your like of your own accord moving forward? Do you think that you would just do like gameplays or things like that? If you were to do both, right? What kind of content do you think you would like to, is it like maybe vlog style stuff? Just trying to get into the head of Destroyer here because like I said, you got this whole idea of giving a platform to other people on fucking
I
lock.
think I know.
I want to know what would you do when you're the star of the show? What
Sheesh,
kind of content
man.
would you like to make?
I honestly,
Back to
I'm a
your back
huge
to your
gamer.
Total War
I'm a
videos. Back to the Warhammer
I'm
40K.
a huge. That took a lot of time and effort. I don't think I'd be able to invest that much time into those. But dude, I'd probably do gameplays. I'd probably do. I like if I was focusing on just content that's gonna highlight myself. I mean, look, I'm not gonna brag, but I'm a pretty good fucking gamer. You know, I play a lot of video
He's
games,
pretty
a
good.
lot of genres.
He
Yeah,
is
dude,
pretty
and
good.
I'm able to produce some type of high level content within video games. So it would definitely be just me gaming, man. It would just be me
That's what it's
gaming,
all about, man. That's
like
literally what it's all about.
completing Dark Souls or something, or like Back for Blood. I have an idea. I want to get together with the homie Rick. I want to get together with Mr. Aquaman. I'm planning to do a series on YouTube where I try to complete every single run on Nightmare. If you've seen Nightmare on that game, it is atrocious. It's one of the hardest things ever, man. And I think
Mm.
it'll be something really dope to put out there for some content.
And you know what's really awesome? I think it could be relatively simple for someone to be like, "Oh yeah, Destroyer, he just kind of puts on tournaments and does his thing, goofs off on the mic." But dude, you are. It seems like you are sharp as a knife when it comes to the YouTube, the Twitch, and just kind of the whole ecosystem of the fighting game world. Like you are just on it, man, and
You live and you learn,
it's
man.
so
It's
cool to
it's
see,
it's
bro.
all a learning process.
So
And
if you could give some advice to somebody that wants to make content, then what would you tell them?
Oh my god, right off the rip, I would say stay consistent. Stay
Nice.
consistent, produce content you enjoy. You don't want to get stuck into a loop where you're forced to do something you're not happy with. You got to enjoy it because if not in the long run, you're most likely going to end up quitting. You're going to say I'm done with this shit. But if you're doing something you enjoy, it's going to be seamless. You're going to end up growing a community, moving forward, and it's going to be like you didn't even work for it. And then by the time you know it, you got a community. You're doing something you enjoy, and whether it's you gaming, whether it's you owning your cooking channel, you just got to stay consistent. If you want to delve into the YouTube, I think just a nice presentation is good. So definitely do your research, watch other great YouTubers, check how they do it, check how I'm not saying steal their fucking content, but
look
just
for
get a sense.
inspiration because that's
Exactly.
really key. No matter what you're doing, it's don't be afraid to look out at what other people are doing to get inspired to do something else or something similar. But yeah, definitely don't try to do exactly what some other people are doing. But finding inspiration has worked for I know someone like me and everyone I've worked with. Guys, I think we're gonna go ahead and call it there. I want to get some final thoughts from you guys. Close out. I want you to give you some shout outs. So Destroyer, I'm gonna pass it over to you. Any shout outs? Let people know where they can find you, where they can watch you. If you guys don't already know, you're fucking up. We'll find out right now.
Yeah, you can find me over at Destroy FGC. I keep that the same across all platforms: Twitch, YouTube, at Destroy FGC. And I just want to give a shout out to you, Aquaman, to Flashyy. You guys bringing me on here today. This KoloCast was absolutely awesome. I want to give a shout outs to the great people I work with for the Champions of the Realm series. I want to give a shout out to Mary Luna, my incredible girlfriend, always helping me out. Doing amazing graphics for my tournaments. And yeah, and shout outs to the community, man. Shout outs to the NetherRealm community because a lot of us owe it to you motherfuckers. You guys are incredible, man. You guys really show a lot of support, and just thank you. Thank you so much.
Destroyer, we appreciate you getting real deep with us here on this one, man. I learned a lot about you, and I think a lot of people will see you in a different light, man. Like I said, you're sharp as a knife in this game, bro, and the sky's the limit for you. But again, thank you so much for coming on, man. For everybody
Of
watching,
course, man. Thank
definitely
you.
follow Destroyer. I'm sure you all already do, but all the links are in the description. Be sure to subscribe to the Kolosseum channel. Also, if you listen on Spotify, be sure to hit that follow button. We got a ton happening. We got Rewind coming up in a couple of weeks. So if you haven't registered yet, be sure to register for Rewind. That's it for us today, man. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching.